Okay, the top clock is your 2-channel digital programmable time clock, controlling 2 areas, 2 zones. And it has an astronomic feature, which is sunrise to sunset. That tracks the sun on a daily basis. These 2 buttons here at the bottom, one says override 1, override 2. If you hit any of them now, the light should either go on or off. You know, if they're on right now, they would go off. So that's one way to find out, you know, where your zones are by hitting the override.
Okay, so if I hit the override, do I mess anything up? Will it just reset itself?
On the next event, when it's supposed to go on or off, it will switch to that event.
Okay, so if they're on and I override it and turn them off, it'll come back on the next night when it's supposed to.
Right, when it's supposed to.
Got it.
Right,
Okay.
right. So in emergency case you need to turn it on, you just hit those overrides.
Got it.
1 and 2. Okay, so I'm going to check and see how your program here by looking at your program. Every time you hit the mode button, it jumps to a different program. First one is clock, if you wanted to set the clock. Next one is the date, shows you the date. DST on, daylight saving time. Alright, there's certain features you're not using here, seasons. There's a holiday setting there. Okay, you have this going on just for channel 1, circuit 1, going on at 7, it says. Okay, so let me enter that. And going off at 1800. So we'll go to the latitude setting. That's where you set your dusk to dawn. 41 degrees is the latitude for this area, and it knows at what time sunrise and sunset. If we hit the enter button, it's not set. So it was just going off the schedule. So I'm going to set it now for you. Okay, so it says on with Monday blinking. To trigger it, we'll hit the day year button. 4:30 is when sun sets at this time. This time of year. And this facility is 7 days a week, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna select 7 days. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's on at 4:30. So we enter that.
Okay.
And it jumps to the next screen. It's all zeros and it says off. That's an offset screen. 41 degrees is not an exact science that it's actually going to be dark at 4:30. You might say, okay, I want the lights to come on like 15 minutes earlier. This offset is what does that for you. So you can always change, fiddle with the time, the sunset time. Okay. We hit enter again. We come to the off, which is the sunrise. We trigger it by hitting the day year button, and sunrise is in this area at 7:16 a.m. and it already shows you that's every day that happens. Alright, to save that, we'll hit enter, and there's also an offset for the sunrise. If it turned off at 7:16 and you said 7 o'clock, you know, it's 7:16 is still dark. I want it to stay on an extra 15 minutes to 7:30.
But you can also put it at 7.
Yeah, you can make it, yeah, you can...
Can you put it at 7?
7? Okay, we could minus
that. So when I come in
that.
at 7, I don't have any lights on the outside.
Okay. So what we do, we'll hit the minute button, and if it's 7:16...
So we do 16 minutes.
Yeah. 16 minutes, and you also have to tell it whether it's plus or minus. So in this case, it's minus.
Yep.
So what triggers that is the event button. It goes from plus to minus. Alright, we save that by entering it, and you're back at latitude 41. So basically, I'll go over it again. You get to the latitude screen, you have 41 degrees set, you hit enter. It shows you that it's going on this evening at 4:30 every day. Hit enter. It goes to the offset. There is no offset for the on time. You hit enter again. It goes to 7:16 sunrise. You hit enter again, and it shows that you have minus 17 minutes offset.
So now when the daylight saving time, not daylight saving times, when the sun starts changing and it starts sunset changes, this will change accordingly because it's going by the latitude 41.
Right.
Okay, got it.
All right, so that was just for channel 1. So I'm assuming that you want channel 2 set the same way since it's outdoor
Yes.
light. Okay. So what happens when you come to 42 degrees, it shows you channel 1 in the upper left-hand corner. To get to channel 2 now, we'll select that by hitting the select button. It jumps over to channel 2. And we're basically going to do the same thing. We'll hit enter. It's not set, so I'll trigger it by hitting the day and the year button. It shows you 4:30 for channel 2. And we're going to select all the days again.
Yep.
Oops, sorry, hit enter. All right, by selecting every day till we come back to Monday flashing. We'll save it by hitting enter. The offset for the on time we're not concerned with. We hit enter again and it's showing you the sunrise. We'll trigger it by hitting the day year. It says 7:16 and
That has to be changed to 7 also.
right. Actually, I don't know why I keep thinking 17 minutes. It's actually 16 minutes. All right. So we'll offset it with the minutes by bringing it up to 16. And we're going to make that minus 16. Save it by hitting enter. And let me just correct channel 1 so they both synchronize. Back to channel 1. On time. Offset. Yeah, I do have 16. Okay.
No, you better, so you're
it
all
says
set.
17.
Yeah.
All right, so let me 16 enter. Okay. So before it was programmed on the schedule, so what I'm going to do is go back and delete the schedules so they don't conflict. So I hit the mode button. We'll go back to the schedule screen. 7 on time at 7. We'll hit delete. Enter. The off time is 1800. Delete. Enter. Delete. Enter. It jumps to channel 2. That's why we have to do it about 4 times. The 5th schedule, there should be no 5th schedule. Okay, we hit mode. And we're back at the time. You always want to leave it where the seconds are running. That's the automatic mode.
Okay.
Because if you hit mode, you're going to go to clock and it'll sit there. And
okay.
Right. So you always put it back to the automatic setting. So that's pretty much it for the DZS 200. ELC stands for Energy Lighting Control Units. We have a 4-channel 8 and a 12, which is the 8. According to how you have it set up, I think they're only using 6 zones out of the 8. It programs differently, and to look at the program, you can always hit the review button right here. You hit it. The first thing comes up is always time, but you don't want to review time, so you hit the review again. Config, you're not using config. Astro, that's if you wanted to review the Astro setting. Hit review again. Event is where all your schedules are for the outlets and everything, 1 through 8 except 6. So what you do is you hit next once you see the word event, and it shows you the on time. And circuit 1 is in the left hand corner, which is 7, and it says on. That's your first event. The event number is in the upper right hand corner, and you hit the plus button to go to the second event. Event 2 is your off for circuit number 1. So basically, if you're programming this unit for all 8 circuits, you should have 16 events. 1 is usually going on, 2 is off times. So each circuit has basically 2 events, except for the Astro. Astro is totally different. programming.
Well, actually, this one will only have 14, right? Because we only have 7 going into this one. We have 1 going into that.
Right.
Is that the deal?
Yeah, and then there's an on event just for the Astro for 6.
Okay.
There's no off. The on triggers the Astro times to work.
Okay.
Right. So if you're having trouble with the unit, if this unit ever frees up, the last resort, you see this hole over here? That's a reset hole.
Okay.
You put a large paper clip. But what happens when you reset this unit? It clears out everything. You have to reprogram everything over time, date, Astro, on and off event. So that's why I'm saying you need a phone here for me to...
Does it freeze up that often?
No, it's very rarely, but unless there's some power outage, a surge comes back, the clock is confused, and it freezes up and you can't do anything. Reset is your last resort because you're going to clear out everything.
Okay.
And the best thing to do, you see this board here where you can use the erasable marker? For one, you can basically write down exactly how it's set up here on this chart. That's what this chart is. I tell electricians all the while, always keep a chart here because 6 months from now, he comes back, he's working on it, he doesn't know what circuit is set for what time. So if you wrote it on here, just like how you did it on on this board, you can write it on here also.
Yeah, but we have to include nomenclature. You know, what lights or what circuit it's actually doing.
Right.
Right.
And this one you can erase it. You know, it's
I'll
wipeable.
do it in Excel. I'll give you the Excel sheet.
Okay. We can put
So
it
this
there.
way you can make your changes in Excel and put it back on.
Yeah, because when he's troubleshooting, he's going to want to know what zone is controlling what. All right. So basically, every time you hit the plus button, you go to a different number, and it shows you a different zone. And it says Sunday through Saturday. They're all programmed the same way. So as you go through, you're seeing 7 on, 7 off, 7 on, 7 off. With the exception of zone 6 will be different. We have a trigger. There are 3. You go to the next zone, it's 7 on, 7 off, 7 on, 7 off. And when you're done programming, you always hit the run button. It's equivalent to your enter button. Run saves everything and runs the program. So once you hit run, it'll go back to the main screen. Here that says override on it. Once you hit that, I'm going to use 6 for an example because that's the outside. We don't want to override anything in here. Hit over, it says over. That means you want to get into the override. So now you hit next.
Next.
It says channel. It starts at channel 1. You don't want to do that because that's in here. You hit the plus button
Until we get to 6.
until you get to 6. 5, 6. And then you hit the override and it'll turn it on.
So I hit the override button again.
Again. And it'll go back. You hear a click.
Yeah.
That's the relay. It'll say run.
Okay, and I see 6 is now beeping.
Blinking, right.
Okay. And now that will reset itself at its next event.
Right.
Got it.